Hey everyone, how you doing? This is Amon Green, Green Bay Packers all-time leader in rushing, and you're watching Packers Total Access Live, your daily source for Packer content. Go Pack, go!
What's up, guys? Welcome to PTA. My name is Clayton. You can check us out on packernet.com. Find me on Twitter at Packers_access. Just want to do a quick show as 2-0 for this already in the chat. Is this a pre-pregame show? Yes, it is. 2-0 for this, as a matter of fact. Now, I was kind of digging through and I started to go live late last night when the Malik Heath news kind of broke. And I say news broke because we still don't have a whole lot of details, but I wanted to dive into it a little bit with the chat and just do a quick little video and kind of give the latest that I can find on the situation. If you guys are unaware, Malik Heath not traveling with the team today. It's kind of odd because last week, we were very vocal on the postgame show, like, man, Bo Melton got a whole lot of snaps at the F position. And obviously he performed like a backup cornerback would playing wide receiver for your Packers, right? So, you look at our receiver room in 1 second, we're going from, man, they're extremely deep to all of a sudden, okay, you got some injuries, but you still feel good about Heath. You feel good about Wicks. You feel good about Dobbs. You feel good about Watson, obviously. And you turn around and you go, okay, why is Bo Melton on the field and not Heath? Now, most of the time you could chalk that up to a specific position, right? Like, okay, maybe Heath isn't that familiar with the F position. But that really didn't compute in my mind either, because I guess it's got to be that. That's the conclusion we came up with, right? But I just wonder if there's something going on behind the scenes here, because Heath all of a sudden not traveling with the team. Now, listen, I think it does mean there's a really, really good chance Matthew Golden and Savion Williams are a go today. I don't think the inactives have been released yet, which we'll get into all that in the pregame show here in about an hour. But I just want to kind of dive into what we can find on the internet right now, what is going on around Malik Heath at the moment, okay? And see if there's anything out there. If you guys have any information, throw it in the comments. Let's just dive into it real quick. I want this to be a quick video, and then we'll also talk about the kicker situation. I know many fans are very, very excited about Haversick. Before we do, though, if you guys would, hit that like button, hit subscribe, click the bell icon so you're notified when we go live here in the future. If you're new here, thanks for hanging out with us this morning. We'll be back in about an hour for a pregame show. Make sure you click the bell icon so you get your phone buzzed or your computer buzzed there when we do go live. But appreciate everybody hanging out in here. So here we go. Main injury report update. And this is just, hey, I had AI go through the internet, grab any information you can, and then we're going to plug a couple of specifics from Bill Huber's article, which was absolutely awesome. You guys make sure you go give that a retweet over on X, on his X account. Main injury report update. The Green Bay Packers updated their injury report on Saturday with the addition of kicker Brandon McManus as doubtful, being noted as potentially the biggest news, though it was not the only changes before the team traveled east. Malik Heath's status. The Packers announced that wide receiver Malik Heath has been ruled out for the game against the Giants, citing a coach's decision. If they had just left it as blank, I would have probably thought maybe he tweaked something, right? Now, you're supposed to give all injury information, right, for the betting world and all that. So maybe that's why they couldn't go that route. I don't know. But coach's decision, we all know what that typically means, right? Typically, and again, I haven't heard any details. Typically, that means something happened behind the scene that the coach didn't feel like, hey, no, we don't want you traveling with us this week. That's kind of odd to me. That perks my ears up a little bit, right? He's not traveling with the team for Sunday's matchup at MetLife Stadium in New Jersey, right? Lack of details. The team provided no further details on why Heath was ruled out or kept home. Head coach Matt LaFleur does not speak to reporters on Saturdays leading into Sunday's game, so obviously he hasn't spoke on this. The interpretation of the decision, generally when a head coach decides to not to have a player travel with the team, it is considered a disciplinary issue. LaFleur is expected to be asked about leaving Heath behind in Green Bay. Man, that sounds horrible. Leave them behind. When he addresses reporters after Sunday's game. So I'm sure he will be asked about that immediately following the game. Recent game lineup context. In Monday night's 10-7 loss to the Eagles, with rookie first-round pick Matthew Golden inactive due to a shoulder injury, the Packers dressed 5 wide receivers: Christian Watson, Romeo Dobbs, Dontavion Wicks, Savion Williams, and Malik Heath, and one former wide receiver turned cornerback, Bo Melton. So the offensive snap distribution in that most recent game, in that game with 68 offensive snaps, Christian Watson played 56 snaps, Dobbs played 42 before leaving with the chest injury. So that even makes you think, wow, why did we not see Heath a little bit more, right? Bo Melton played 26, Malik Heath played 20, and Savion Williams only played 6. So I don't know, man. It's just, am I the only one that thinks that seems a little odd? You know, it's just a little strange. So moving along here, updated injury report for the key players. Watson with the knee hammy, Dobbs with the chest, Wicks with the calf. We're on the injury report earlier, but were removed on Friday, confirming they will play. Golden with the shoulder, Williams with the foot are listed as questionable. All right. So potential reason for Heath's absence. If Golden and Williams play, and Melton, who has started splitting practice time between the defense and the offense, sees game action on offense again, Heath might have been a healthy scratch for Sunday's game. I kind of assumed that's what it was until they said, a coach's decision. It's like, I guess that is technically a coach's decision, but it's just, why would he not travel with the team? Is that odd to you guys? Let me know in the chat. Is that odd that a player doesn't travel with the team even though they're not on the active roster? I thought even some of the practice squad guys travel. Maybe I'm wrong there, right? But anyway, Heath's season performance. Here's what's crazy. We've talked about Malik Heath. He's got extremely limited targets, right? Limited opportunities, but he's made the most out of it, it feels like, right? So for the season, Heath described as one of the Packers' most tenacious blockers at receiver. No block, no rock. That's typically, a big thing to LaFleur. He's caught 6 passes for 86 yards while playing 188 of the Packers' 578 offensive snaps. So he's played essentially 32% of the snaps, right? And what's crazy is he's caught every target. Every time the ball's been thrown to him, he's caught the ball. That's what's really, really interesting about this. So I want to know what you guys think in the comments, man. Is it this is kind of what I thought. Chris, you hit the nail on the head. And again, guys, we always say we're not experts here. We're not insiders. We are not insiders. I'm going to say it again. I'm not an insider. I'm not a media member. I'm a fan just like y'all, trying to figure things out just like you guys are. So Chris Casuan said Heath may be pissed Bo got those targets instead of him. That's the first thing that popped in my mind. Was like, hell, I was kind of pissed, right? To be honest with you. Heath's caught everything thrown his way. I have a hard time believing if he's playing that F spot on that crosser that he drops that pass. Historically speaking, at least in the recent history this year, right? He's caught everything thrown his way. So I don't know, kind of strange there, man, for sure. So 2-0 for this. Goes on to say in the chat, there has to be a reason Bo got those targets, you'd think. We know nothing. Exactly. So we'll kind of keep our ear to the streets. Now, I want to shift gears into Bill Huber's article real quick, okay? And there's going to be some Heath stuff in here, but we're also going to get into the kicker talk. Look, no super chats required. We're already in the kicker talk. How about that? So Bill Huber wrote this over at si.com, and I've just got some cliff notes. You guys, please go check out the article. Go give it a retweet. Give him a click there. He's an awesome writer for the Packers. It's on si.com, and it says basically the Packers made 2 key roster decisions on Saturday involving kicker Brandon McManus, receiver Malik Heath. Moving along here, Brandon McManus update. So kicker Brandon McManus was added to the injury report as doubtful due to tightness reported upon arriving at Lambeau Field on Saturday. He had missed 2 games earlier with the right quad injury and struggled in his 3 games back, but was not on Friday's injury report after kicking in practice. Okay. So McManus actually has a quote on his health here. Okay. Yeah, definitely healthy now. End of quote. McManus said on Thursday, I was healthy enough to play, and it was our decision from the medical how I was feeling at practice and look forward to performing the way I know how to. That was on Thursday, right? So obviously Friday he comes in. It sounds like it may have been tied, or was it Saturday? They just said, I believe it was Saturday, right? Thursday, Saturday. Regardless, Thursday he seemed to feel good. Yeah, he goes in on Saturday, and now he feels bad all of a sudden, right? So implications for McManus. Players listed as doubtful almost never play. You guys know doubtful is typically a 25% chance of playing in that game that they're mentioned in, right? So that likely means substitute kicker Lucas Havrasik will handle kicking duties for this game and possibly the next week or 2. Havrasik's quote, I pray a lot and just know that God's in control of all circumstances, end of quote. Havrasik said recently. So whatever situation I'm in, it's good whether I'm here or not. I love that attitude, by the way. Like, hey, I can only control what I can control, right? So McManus's performance stats, right? McManus was second in the NFL in field goal percentage last season at 95.2%. That's a Packers record, by the way. So I know there are many people that just want to kick McManus to the curb. There's a portion of the fan base that I feel like are really, really based, and they say, hey, no, let's just make sure he's completely healthy. Now, they've been telling us, no, he's healthy. We've watched him kick, and you got to take the coach's word for it, right? He's behind the scenes kicking. They're watching both of them kick. They felt better about McManus than Havrasik. So I imagine that's what happened there, right? But again, 95.2%, that's a Packers record. This season, he's last among 32 kickers with at least 10 attempts at 64.7%, making all 5 kicks in week 1 against Detroit. but missing at least one in every subsequent game, including blocks against Cleveland and Dallas, 2 of 4 versus Pittsburgh, 2 of 3 versus Carolina, and 0 for 1, a 64-yarder. Throw that one out the window, right? Like, come on. Versus Philadelphia. So he has struggled. So obviously, if you take a guy who kicked 95% last year, and I think he was best in the league, by the way, and then all of a sudden you have a quad injury and now he sucks. He magically sucks, right? It's got to be the injury related, right? So maybe they were just trying to force him back too early. I don't like that. I mean, it's just, we kind of talked about it. Like, obviously, you got to trust the coaches. They're the ones watching them kick in practice, right? So how do you go about that? Like, if you line them up in practice, and I'm a little sore, coach, but he's kicking better than Haversick in practice. Now, if Haversick was kicking way better than him in practice, and they still march McManus out there, me no likey that, Jan, right? That's just the way that goes. So LaFleur's quote on carrying 2 kickers, quote, I think Lucas is a really good, young, up-and-coming kicker as well. So fortunately for us, we have the flexibility with our roster to carry 2, right? And then Haversick's performance. Let's kind of talk about that for a minute. Haversick is 4 of 4 on field goals, including a franchise record 61-yarder against Arizona and 6 of 6 on extra points in his 2 games. So he's been perfect this year, right? And he was quoted as saying, yeah, it's nice. He said of his success, I really don't celebrate them too much just because that's the standard for us, making your kicks. If I go a whole season without missing, then I'd be like, all right, cool. But every week, you've got to keep the same level of emotion of even kill, just because it really doesn't matter what you did last week. Amen to that. What are you going to do now? So very thankful for that. Obviously, it's great, but I just try to focus on my next kick. All right. So I really like Haversick's attitude, man. And the only way I know to explain this, guys, is Brandon McManus convinced them, hey, I'm good to kick. Here's the thing, too, guys. We watched him in pre-games, too. We watched McManus nail him 58 yards, right? So it's like, I don't want to sit here and feel like, oh, yeah, we seen this coming a mile away. When we're watching him in pregame, they're telling us the practice reports look good. I don't know. It's tough, man. So let's circle back around to the Malik Heath's decision through Bill Huber's eyes, see if anything new's here, and we'll wrap up so I can go downstairs and try to drink some water or something and get this throat cleared up, man. It is still hanging on. But Malik Heath's decision, obviously he didn't travel with the team, He's caught all 6 targets. We talked about that. Receiver rotation. Milton's quotes. Bo Melton's quote, it's fun for sure. Melton said of playing offense and defense, been doing both this week. We'll see what comes on Sunday. He also noted, I feel like the last game I was running good routes and stuff. I think this week we've been doing a good job of me getting some catches in. So that's the other thing that we got to take into consideration. Like, nobody's pissed at Bo Melton. Bo Melton's a great special teams player. He's filling a void there on defense as well. He gives you some roster flexibility. But also, I think we would all agree, since camp, they've really steered his practice reps to playing cornerback and getting him ready there, right? So now they got to get him back on the jugs machine, get him catching passes from Jordan, and probably a little bit from Malik behind the scenes as well. But yeah, I try to give him a little bit of grace because he's being asked to do so much, right? So yeah. So that's pretty much it, man, that we've got on that whole situation. There's no practice squad elevations for defense. So with only cornerback Nate Hobbs rolled out, no defensive back was elevated. Bo Melton and Kamal Haddon are next up behind starters Keyshawn Nixon and Carrington Valentine. I'm really excited to see Carrington again today, waiting for that first pick of the year for sure. So yeah, that's pretty much it we have on that. Now I want to wrap up with Lucas Haverick's career stats. We're looking at recently, right? He's been perfect this year. He's 4 for 4 on field goals, right? Extra points. He's 6 for 6, if I'm looking at this correctly, right? So now when you go to his career numbers, so we go from 100% in Green Bay, right, this year with a minute amount of kicks. In 2023, he kicked for the Rams. He played 9 games. He was 15 of 20. That's not horrible, right? 15 to 20, 75% complete field goal percentage. So he didn't attempt anything from 1 to 19 yards. From 20 to 29, so 20 to 29 yards out, 8 for 8. 30 to 39, he was 3 for 3. He was 2 of 6 from 40 to 49. Okay, so from 40 to 49, he hit 2 out of 6 kicks. And then 50-plus yarders, he was 2 of 3 with a long being 52-yarder. He was also 19 of 22 on extra points. So keep that in mind. Out of 22 attempts on extra points, He actually missed 3 in 2023. And here's why I bring that up. I love Haversick. I think it's awesome that we've got the flexibility. We got a little bit of depth there at the kicker position. I think that's great. But the other thing is, if he was a top 5 kicker, right, or a top 3 kicker, I want to say top 10, but he may be top 10. I don't want to undersell him here. But if he was like an elite kicker, he'd be on a team somewhere. I think we would all agree, right? So I'm not expecting him to go out there and hit 100% every day, right? But something's definitely up with McManus for his numbers to go from 95% to 65%, right? I know you guys want to hit the drop. Flying solo, can't do it. Apologize. But so there's a reason he dropped that far. Now, if you'll remember going into the season, there's 2 things that I said, guys, we probably need to curb the enthusiasm on. Jeff Hafley's defense will probably take a slight step back, right? Because teams now have tape on him. And then Jeff Hafley came out immediately in camp and said, we've already got phase 2 installed. We're ready. As soon as offense is making an adjustment, we're going to make adjustment to that. So he's staying one step ahead of the game like any good coach would, doing your own self-scouting, right? So that kind of happened a little bit. Now they're starting to crank up, and that adjustment looks really good, right? With what they did to the Eagles, man, holding them to 10 points was just so impressive to me. It was the ultimate positive, right, coming out of that game. So that was one thing. And the other thing was, like, guys, we cannot expect Brandon McManus to hit 95% of his kicks, right? Now, I didn't expect him to drop to 65% or 69%, whatever it is, right? Did not expect that. So I would have expected him to be somewhere in the, honestly, the fact that he kicked 95% last year, I was thinking 80, mid-80s, something like that. 85%, I'd be over the moon. But obviously 65%, and that's just absolutely insane. As J. Cole says, that's a hell of a step back. It's got to be the injuries, right? I mean, it's got to be. As Mitchell's mommy says in the chat, yikes, 95 to 65. I didn't realize McManus dropped that much. I didn't either. And again, I think it's a testament to, the injury. Now, here's the other thing. I think it was Mark Tauscher talking about this a few weeks ago. He said, why are you carrying that extra kicker? Because typically when players get older and they start to have these muscle issues, they don't just magically fix. They typically get worse, and it becomes a management thing, right? So maybe the 95% days are behind McManus. Maybe him in peak health, nothing bothering him. He is an 80% kicker. And if that's the case, all it takes is one tweak to a muscle. And I'm telling you, man, when you get to that age, things start to go downhill. So that's probably why they're, obviously it's why they're holding on to Haversick. But I also want to curb the enthusiasm with Haversick. The dude comes out there, he's been perfect, and he kicks a 61-yarder franchise record. It's easy to go, damn, we got our next great kicker, right? Probably not going to be that good all the time. So just wanted to hit on all that stuff real quick. Like I said, we're going to be live again. The stream is already up. The link is already up on YouTube. Make sure you guys hop over there, hit subscribe, click the bell icon so you're notified when we do go live for the pregame show. It'll probably be somewhere around 10:30 a.m. Central Time. Okay, so roughly 45 minutes from now, we'll go live. We'll get you the inactives. We'll give you live shots from MetLife Stadium over there in Jersey, and planning on going out there and trying to get a dub today, man. If the Packers beat the Giants today, and the Vikings were to beat the Bears, and the Eagles take care of business against the Lions tonight, which, by the way, Sam Laporta now on IR, so they're down their top tight end just like we are with Tucker Kraft. He will not be. Sam Laporta will not be available for the Thanksgiving matchup, so that kind of evens that out a little bit in regards to injuries. But if all those things happen today, we're going to be going into tomorrow morning, Victory Monday, right, with the Packers leading the North. That's the goal today. With that being said, this ain't a slam dunk win over the Giants. So guys got to go out there and take care of business. We'll give you all the insights. We'll give you live shots from the stadium, and we'll give you our keys to the game as well as overs, unders, things like that during the pregame show. So appreciate everybody jumping in here. We'll see you here in about 45 minutes. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. My name's Clayton. This is PTA. Go Pack, go.
Here we go. We're out.
Bye, guys.